I think it's a competitive thing, and I think he sees people who were orbiters of his who are now coming up and their podcasts are blowing up, and he might feel like, well, if I don't do this, I'm, sliding away in terms of relevance, and I want to stay the top dog, and so I'm going to do this. But again, as I said, it was honestly a humiliating interview is the best way to describe it. So before I get to the point for point, topic for topic breakdown of exactly what happened and what was said, let me tell you what wasn't asked about. So what wasn't asked about is Israel, in the midst of Israel committing a genocide, and the U.S. arming and funding Israel to commit that genocide, and Donald Trump saying, the problem with that policy is we're not arming and funding them enough, and we're not supporting them enough. He wants to put the genocide into hyperdrive. That was not asked about. Roe versus Wade was not asked about. The fake elector slates was not asked about. His war crimes were not asked about. His corruption was not asked about. His 91 criminal charges was not asked about. His relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, which an article just came out this week saying they were besties and they had a sexual assault game that they played together. And a woman who was a model in 1993 came out and told a very detailed story, which, by the way, fits with Trump's MO completely, the whole grab him by the pussy thing, right? She tells this detailed story about how Trump did that, and Trump and Jeffrey Epstein were buddy-buddy, and there was this weird game that they played where Epstein would bring a woman to Trump would assault that woman, then afterwards Epstein would act mad about it, and it was a little tee-hee-hee, look at us doing our little fucking sexual assault game. I think if that story came out about any Democrat, Joe Rogan would be talking about it on his podcast endlessly and not bringing on the Democrats who were accused to fucking giggle with them, right? So none of that stuff was asked. None of that stuff was asked. It wasn't asked about, Donald Trump's colossal, massive, legendary increase in drone strikes under his administration, over 400% increase, where we had a 330% increase in civilian deaths in Afghanistan. That wasn't asked about. It wasn't asked about him bombing Syria twice, about him bombing Somalia, about him assassinating a top Iranian general, or trying to coup Venezuela, or ripping up the Iran agreement, which helped lead us to this war posture with Iran that we're on right now. It wasn't asked about the U.S. arming and funding a Saudi genocide in Yemen under Donald Trump, and then Donald Trump vetoed a bill to stop us arming and funding a genocide. That wasn't asked about. It wasn't asked remember when Trump said he wants to do war with Mexico in his second term? Define the drug cartels as a terrorist organization and then go do airstrikes against them? That wasn't asked about. It wasn't asked about him pardoning war criminals like the Blackwater war criminals with the Nisour Square massacre. That wasn't asked about. And so, I'm watching this, and I cannot tell you the number of times I facepalmed. I cannot tell you the number of times I was sitting there in awe of the stupidity of this interview.